Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Podcast. Almost said Vlogtober. That's over. Podcast episode 148. If you are new to the channel, go grab a cup of tea quickly so you don't miss anything and get comfy because we are going to be talking about knitting, crochet and quilting today. I have no cross stitch because I haven't done any for ages. I know. Do you ever get to a point where you kind of run out of steam on a project or something else attracts your attention and you just want to work on that one thing? Well, that happens to me all the time. So yeah, I find it difficult to stay the course. You'll find that out as we carry on. Anyway, today it's actually Sunday evening. Had a good day today. Watched Liverpool play football. They didn't play all that great, but they did tie, so that's okay. And then I watched the Formula One, so of course that was awesome too. So I had a really nice day. Had a cup of tea with a friend. We went out to Stella Luna and had tea and chatted and knitted. That was fun. Yesterday was an even better fun day because one of my other friends came over and we sewed all day. I set a table up for her in my basement and we both sat down here and sewed all day, and it was a lot of fun. I'll show you later what I worked on. So let's get on with what's been happening. Knit-wise, no finished objects, don't have any. I have put a good dent into my Stephen West shawl. You've all seen it by now. There's definitely no spoilers because naturally I'm behind. You should all take bets on exactly how long this is going to take me to finish, because what I find with it at the beginning, I'm all excited and want to knit all the time and be on time for each clue because they come out each Thursday in October. But inevitably I fall behind because I do so many other things. And but anyway, it looks lovely. So there was clue 1. Version 3, because yes, I did start this 3 times because of all the drama that ensued. Then clue 2 was this gorgeousness on the outside edge, all these lovely eyelets and reverse stockinette, and they're on both sides. These are all being held currently on waste yarn because this is clue 3, still on clue 3. I mean, what can I say about that? It's just gorgeous. Is that not just gorgeous? Look at it. And when you look at that, you think, oh, that looks hard. And it's not. It really is not hard. You do have to concentrate and count, but it's not really hard. It's all slip stitches, and I can't even get my head around how it goes like that. And neither do I want to get my head around it. I just keep following the pattern. Thank you very much. But it really is lovely. And it's very thick and squishy compared to this eyelet section. And that's what the back looks like. And these are that will get weaved in. And so, yeah. And funnily enough, because we're only on we bound off all these stitches here all the way up to there, and then here's where we started, and then of course we're decreasing every row or every other row along here, so it's getting smaller as it's going. And I really thought when I got to this color here, I thought this is gonna go super fast because it's just a few stitches on the needle now. I'll whip this up tonight, then I can start on no, this is still taking me 2 nights to get from here to here. I hope to finish it this evening. because I just do. Because then I have to do this whole thing again on this side before I can start the next clue. So I'm not in a rush anymore to finish it. I never really was, to be honest with you, because any of the other Stephen West shawls I've done, I haven't like finished them until like end of January, stuff like that, because this now doesn't become as important and urgent as it was, which is a shame, but so it will just get knit as I go. So I want to finish this tonight, and then I'll probably cast on this side, but I'll probably leave it till I'm back from Nova Scotia, just because it's too big to take with me while I'm there and too complicated. Well, not complicated, but too much to think about while you're there. And I'm going to be looking after, you know, or helping to look after the lovely Leo and possibly the newborn. So I'm not taking this with me. And because I go in like 2 weeks. So I want to try and at least get it off the needles, and not off the needles, that one side finished and the other side at least cast on and ready to go. So that's that. The other thing I've been working on and loving is the Attic 24 blanket. Now this is called Starbright. It's crochet, and you can do it 3 ways actually, and it's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. Just go to her blog site, Attic 24, and I think it's .co.uk. Don't know, but there's little squares that you know, put all together, and I didn't feel like doing little squares, wasn't in the mood for them. Or you can do stripes, and I love stripes, especially when we're doing the same pattern constantly. Even though that sounds boring, when you're switching colors, it's not. So there's a stripe pattern, and there's 15 colors in this pack. You can get the color pack at Lovecrafts, and so there's the 15 colors, and then you just are repeating those 15 colors, one stripe after the other, and then repeating them all again. Or you can do the color wash, which is what I'm doing. And the color wash is where you're using all the blues first, and then all the greens. So I've just started on the second of the greens, and the stitch is called the V stitch. So I have it upside down. There you go. This is where I'm up to. And you can see they're all little V's, and you're just going into the nest in the middle of each V to do the next V. So it's very good. It's very interesting. I'm loving it. And I had started it off wrong, because I started off doing 1 row per stripe as according to her little chart instructions, and it actually was supposed to be 2 rows per stripe, as in here 2 rows per stripe, as opposed to that 1 row per stripe. But I'd already started it, and I was halfway up here, so I had tinked back to here and decided that I would, from the dark blue, I would carry on the rest as it's supposed to be. So that's where I'm up to. Then at the other end, I will finish it down to the 1 stripe with whatever color that's going to be. Now it's quite big already. I'm only doing the lap size. So I don't know if I'll get all 15 colors in, because depending on because I'm only little. So depending on how long it becomes. But anyway, there it is. It's so pretty. I didn't have all the colors that they called for. I did not order the kit because I had a lot of the Stylecraft yarn in my stash. And so this was a color that isn't the actual color it's meant to be, but it's green. And this color here is not the blue it's meant to be, but it's blue. So don't care. Anyway, so that is coming on lovely, and it's so relaxing to sit and just crochet in the evening and just do a row or 2, and you feel like you've, got something accomplished. So I'm really enjoying that, very much so. The other thing I'm working on is I'm test knitting my own sock. So this is my new sock that will be coming out in December 1st. And it is called the Evergreen tree socks. And these are the evergreen trees in my front garden. There are 2 of them. 2 big trees, and they stand side by side. Here's a picture. And then I have a road. They're right beside the road. So this is my little road. And these are the trees in the backyard because I have lots of big trees in my backyard. And then this is the railway bridge because I have a railway bridge at the end of the road. So these are my evergreen socks. This is my hand-dyed yarn, and I was going to make this a kit, but I'm not going to now because I have to go to Nova Scotia and I don't have time to dye them up. But I might dye this up in the new year. So, but I mean, you can also do it in other colors. It doesn't have to be in the evergreen or the green color, but I wanted something Christmassy. And so these are those socks. Aren't they cute little trees? So so this is the 64, which fits me. So I wanted to do a pair for my husband for Christmas in a yarn that I've been hoarding for ages. The yarn I have been hoarding is Robin by West Yorkshire Spinners. And I love this. This was their Christmas yarn from 2019. So I had it, and I just loved it so much. But then it got to the point where I thought, I just may as well knit it for my husband. It's not really my colorway, although it's very pretty. So I thought, I'll make them for him and give them to him. And I wanted to test knit the 72 stitch pattern for my socks. So I am. Now, you cannot see the trees very well because of the nature of this self-striping yarn. Just heads up. But I wanted to do it because I still get to see if my stitch count is right all the way through. And he's not going to care that there's trees on it. In fact, he probably won't even notice. So here are my trees. It's hard to see them, as I said, because of the yarn. And there's my little road. And I'm just coming down the foot. I have done the heel flap and turn, and that worked out perfectly. So now I'm just on the foot, which of course is just plain stockinette and will take me forever because he has a big foot. So actually, let me put it on here. It'll be interesting. I got to measure his foot later tonight just to see. I love these. I got these on was it Etsy? No, on Amazon, because I like them better than the, does it go that way? Yes. I like them better than the sock blockers because you get to actually see what it would look like on a foot. And I did his foot longer, as you can see, because he likes his socks longer. So here it is on him. It's probably not that far off getting ready to do the heel, the toe for him. But here it is. Would you like my little Christmas tree ornament? Stitch marker. That's where I had got to when I joined all the stitches back after the gusset was done. So. And the nice thing about when you're working with self-striping yarn is that when you're doing the second sock, you can just count how many, if you start at the same color, how many you're at before you do your changes. So anyway, here it is. Like I said, it is hard to see those trees, but they are there. I'm going to call these my fall trees. Anyway. So that's what I've been working on knit-wise. Now, I did dye up some yarn for November. I've been, if you know, I've been dyeing up yarn every month. We went, and they're all the birth flowers of the month, other than October, I did the spooky spider socks with the pattern. and those were purple, black, and orange, excuse me. And then these will be the December socks. So the color for December. So I've dyed up November, and November's flower is chrysanthemum. And oh my goodness, this yarn has turned out so beautiful. I always keep one for myself. And then I dyed up 4 altogether. So 1 for myself, and the other 3 were going into the shop, except my friend so happened to see it and bought one today. So there's only 2 going in the shop. But I feel like it's more than likely this is going to get dyed again in the new year once I'm back from Nova Scotia, because it really is so beautiful. Look at this. Is that not gorgeous? There are 4 colors in here. I used russet, lilac, yellow, and orange. And these are all the colors of, so there's that one, and then there's this one, of my beautiful chrysanthemums, because let's face it, they are all different colors. Isn't that lovely? I just love it. Can you imagine a sweater out of this? I'll have to see if I can dye some up on DK yarn. Ooh. So anyway, these 2 will be going into the shop later today, which will be tomorrow for you. And then I will probably put a note underneath that if you really like it and you don't get it, that you will be able to, I'll put in an order for next time I'm back. So that's the knitting and the crochet. So let's talk about the quilting. So yesterday when my friend was over, I worked on the Cut and Cuts Carnival Clue 3. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Cotton Cuts is a company in the US, and they do a really cool, they call it a puzzle mystery quilt. And each month you get a package of pre-cut, yes, I did say pre-cut, fabric in the mail. You choose at the beginning the fabric line you want, and then they send you these little baggies with fabric in and instructions to put them together. And here is one of those blocks. So we had to make 2. So there are 2 blocks here, both the same. So this is one, and these were all pre-cut pieces. And you just sew them together the way they tell you. Now that does not look like a block that we would associate with a quilt block. And there's a reason for that. So that was the first one. And then I had to do 2 of this one. And again, they're both the same. And I label them so I know which one is which. Is this fabric not super cool? So there again is another block, which does not look like a block. And the reason is because at the end of the year, or the end of the 10 months, let me put it that way, on the 10th month, they send you borders, binding, and instructions to put the quilt together. So this one was just clue 3 I did, and I have clue 4 to do, and then clue 5 will ship out at the end of the month, I think. Sometimes I actually sew them on live so that you can see how easy it is to put them together, but I've been so busy the last little while, and with me going away, I probably won't do that. I'm just going to show you them as they're finished, but I am editing currently the video on how I put together Village Green, which just finished. Would you like to see it? Now, this started out with all those little blocks each week that you couldn't figure out where they were going, what was happening with them. And suddenly they were finished. And this is what it looks like. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it all, but here you go. Isn't that cute? Look at the fabric. It's little bears. It's Goldie is the name of the fabric. There she is, Goldilocks. But how amazing is that? So, like, that piece I just did could have been this piece here. It's just so interesting when you put it all together. And I think it's 60 by 45, so it's a good size. It's a good size. And I will put a picture for you here of what it looks like, because it's really hard to show when I'm just standing here. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. I get the biggest kick out of putting the thing together at the end. Like, doing these are fun, and they're very quick because it's already pre-cut. So basically you just get it in the mail, sit down that night, within an hour, hour and a half, you've done it. And then you put that away for the next month, right? So it's very quick, it's very fun, but that, putting it together, is by far the most exciting part. It really is. And I did it over 2 evenings just because I didn't want to rush it. And so anyway, I have to just finish editing that, and I'm hoping to put that up next week for you guys to just watch the fun of doing it. I will leave a link below to Cotton Cuts. They have a new puzzle mystery starting. It goes live December 1st, where you can pick your colors. They do have the colors up there right now because they want people to name the colors for them. And so yeah, go check it out and name some colors on their, go to their Facebook page. I'll leave a link to that. And yeah, you'll be able to go and name some of the colors. And then when they go live, December 1st, you can pick which one you want. I will give you a link. I'm hoping I will know what they're going to give the code to me for, so that when you do sign up in your first clue, you will get a free gift. It's a win-win. So last thing I have to show you is, while I was at the quilt retreat I went to a couple of weeks ago, I put together a Christmas quilt from the Fat Quarter Shop from the year before. I had done the first 2 blocks and then left it. So when I was at quilt retreat, I finished all the blocks off and put it together. I pieced my own backing using the leftover fabric, cut them all up into 5-6 inch squares it was, and put them all together, then just threw a board around the outside edge to make it the same size as the front. And then yesterday, when my friend was over, I quilted it and did a scrappy binding. So it's still have to sew the binding on the back because I do that by hand. But here is how it's turned out quilted. Stand up. It's not a big one, it's just a wall hanging. Isn't that cute? And here's how I quilted it. I tried it something different. So I made a mark from the corner to the corner with my friction pen, sewed straight down, and then I used my walking foot and guide at 1.5 inches, and I just followed this line all the way to the end, 1.5 inches. Then, instead of carrying on doing that same thing all the way, I turned it on an angle and I drew a line from here to here, and then did the same thing, 1.5 inches all the way that way, then 1.5 inches all the way this way. And I think that turned out super nice. Here is the back, which, as I said, was all scrappy binding. And I don't really care that there's no edge on either side here of the white, because it's going to be hung on the wall. No one's going to see this anyway. but it's all the fabric that I used on the front. And then what I did was I took leftover bindings and colors that I did have that was similar and just did a scrappy binding. So I cut them at 12 inches and 10 inches, depending. And again, I think that turned out really cool. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. So I just have to sew that tonight, maybe. Or finish off that Stephen West shawl, maybe. Oh, and then of course, I can't even tell you the plans I've got for December, because there's at least 2 things I'm casting on. Oh my gosh. There could even be more. But I'll leave that for another day. So I will be back in 2 weeks for another podcast, and then we will be starting Vlogmas, because yes, I'm going to do Vlogmas even though I'll be in Nova Scotia. I'll take you along for the ride of the ridiculousness that will be happening, and the fun, oh, and the cuddles. Oh, anyway, I will see you in 2 weeks, and please please subscribe if you're not already. Tell your mates to come check this out. And I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye.